What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the numbers, and welcome to Best Bet for UFC St. Louis. We have Derrick Lewis going against Rodrigo Nascimento, and yeah, we have a very fun card today. I'm really looking forward to this one. We have 12 fights to work with, so these guys are going to each get 2 passes, and yeah, looking forward to breaking it down. There's a stretch of 3 fights tonight that I'm just really looking forward to. It starts with the McKenna Rivix. Then we got the Slava Hooper, and then it ends with the Acosta Despain fight. I cannot wait for that stretch of 3 fights. And there's some other really solid fights as well. So yeah, looking forward to breaking it all down, talking some best bets. I am here with Guru Scouting MMA and Sparring with Reality. Luke, we'll start with you first, Guru. You looking forward to UFC St. Louis?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Derrick Lewis, we're not in the apex. You've got awesome fight between hometown phenom Joaquin Buckley versus the up-and-comer, right? Going to a new division here versus Nursultan Ruzaboyev. So really exciting fight. Should be electric.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got Luke in the building. What is up, Luke? You looking forward to UFC St. Louis?
Yeah, man. I always like these cards, when they get out of the apex. And honestly, top to bottom, I think for a general fight night card, it's a pretty stacked card, honestly. So I know we kind of like to piss on these fight night cards here and there sometimes, but I'm stoked for this one. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, we can piss on next week a little bit, but I don't think anybody should be pissing on this week for sure. So yeah, looking forward to it. So yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting show because right now we have Guru who's in second place. Guru, you hit something massive the other week. Can you remember what it was?
Oh, how could I freaking forget? Are you kidding me? Max Holloway round 3, 4, 5 KO. I do forget the odds, but I made it my best bet of the week as well. So I doubled up, and I'm in second place just based on that bet. So it's kind of showed me how I want to approach this show.
I want to say it was like plus 1,200, something like that, like something crazy.
It was sweet.
So you went from like the bottom pack to like second, like that. So that was good. And then Luke has been consistent, and he's in third right now. So both guys are looking good thus far. I can't wait to see what these guys have. Before we get into, if you guys could like the video, subscribe to the channel. We go live every Saturday, 2 hours prior to these fights kicking off. Go check out these guys as well. Luke on Twitter, and then also Guru, he's on Twitter as well, has a YouTube channel, Chronic Combat Conversations. Check them out. I do want to shout out the chat before we get started. We have a Dixon, first one in the building. I'm having night terrors, convulsions, and seizures. Gosh, as I try to cope with Liang Na withdrawal symptoms. I hope you feel better soon, my friend. Yeah, it stung, but the thing is, I kind of knew it was coming, so it didn't hurt as bad. We got Useless present. We got my biggest fan, Mark, in the building. What is Mark saying? I like to have as many guys in my pool as I can. Yeah, you're an interesting guy, Mark. So that's why we like you. We got 138 in the building who's currently in first place. He'll be on next week. Looking forward to that. The Man Cave MMA. We got Aldar. We got Sniper. We got Jake. What's up, gents? What is up, Jake? And are any of you going to Newark? Guru might. I think Guru might be close to Newark. Luke, you going to Newark? Probably not. You're in Vegas, right?
Yeah, that's a bit of that'd be a bit of a hike for me.
It is. It's a big of a hike. Yeah, I'm probably staying away from Newark myself. Bruce Lee, we're talking busting parlays. We'll talk about that fight. What is up, Adam? What is up, Shoe Proof? I say we get right into it, guys. And we're going to start with the first fight of the card. We have Veronica Hardy going against JJ Aldrich. We got Veronica Hardy sitting as a minus 126 favorite. We have JJ Aldrich sitting as a plus 106 underdog. Again, you guys each get 2 passes. We have 12 fights, 10 bets. We'll start with you, Guru. What are you liking for the first fight of the card?
Now, so of a card that's quite interesting, this is probably one of the fights that is maybe least interesting, right? I feel like most people think it's going to go the distance. I don't really hate that angle either. You've got somebody in JJ Aldrich who's built like a bag of milk, and you've got somebody in Veronica Hardy who has, looked much better in last recent performances, but it's against very suspect level of competition. She's getting a decent step up, at least in veteran name value here. You're going to see a theme throughout my picks tonight. I'm not necessarily thinking I'm going with the absolute positive, most probable thing, but I think based on value, this has a real shot. I'm going to take Veronica Hardy by submission at plus 750. And the reason for that is you actually look at JJ Aldrich's record. She's been submitted 3 times. And Veronica Hardy is somebody who has honestly very young, continuing to improve. And if you actually do expect her to win, which I do, I kind of could see her mixing in some wrestling here. She was able to take down the much bigger Jamie Lynn Horth. Why not take down Aldrich here for the path of least resistance? So plus 750, I had to take a stab.
All right. Coming out hot for the first fight of the card is Guru with the submission prop for Hardy at plus 750. Luke, what are you liking for the first fight of the night?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take my first pass on this one. Kind of like everybody else, I think a competitive money line here makes sense. I think the fight should go the distance at a high clip. If it does finish, I don't hate Guru's stab. That's probably the only way I would see the fight finishing in all likelihood. So I don't hate the pop there. So I'm going to take my pass. If I had to give something out, like Hardy by split is like plus 550. Not great for a split prop on like an individual person, but if I had to give something, that's what I would give. But I'm going to take my first pass here.
Smart.
Yeah. When I was researching this fight, what stuck out to me and what I wrote down was like a split decision prop. But I think on DraftKings they have it at plus 250, which that has to be like the worst split decision prop number I've ever seen. Like typically it's like at least like plus 300, 330. But it's like plus 250. So I think that says everything you need to know. But I agree. I think if this fight does finish, it's absolutely on the Hardy side. I don't see Aldrich finishing anybody unless it's Liang Na, which everybody finishes, sadly. Let's see. Seeing Cutie Beanie Brady on my Saturday morning just makes my weekend. My gosh. We got Gamblestein in the building. Brady, acknowledge me. You have been acknowledged. What is up, Gamblestein? Aldridge looked like pudding. Hardy inside the distance. Marvin saying that's definitely worth it. Plus 750 for the sub. We got Jason in the building. What is up, Jason? Imagine a JJ Aldrich Liang Na OnlyFans collab. I don't think we'll ever see anything like that. I'll pay the juice. Hardy finish only minus 170. I think that's solid. You know, like I said, I struggle to see Aldrich finishing anybody unless it's Liang Na. Lewis by sub. Come on, Ruben. Come on. I mean, maybe Nascimento taps the strikes, but outside of that, I don't think he's subbing anybody. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have a lot of line movement on this fight. We have Jake Hadley going against Charles Johnson. So Jake Hadley was all the way down to minus 165, and he's now minus 122. Charles Johnson was as high as plus 144. He's now a plus 102 underdog. So yeah, Charles Johnson, a very popular underdog this week. He's the hometown guy in what seems to be more than likely a competitive fight. Interested to see which side you guys end up on. We'll start with you, Luke. What do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I definitely am kind of more in agreement with the Johnson line move. I consider him a pretty live underdog this week. Obviously, there's a little bit of game theory with this show, so I'm going to take just the Johnson decision prop at plus 215. I think it's the most likely outcome of the fight. Johnson's just kind of one of these weird guys, though, that's obviously really difficult to trust. He's been very inconsistent so far within the UFC, but I do think his pacing is a bit more consistent, at least in relation to latter rounds. He tends to be a slower starter, so that's the concern, but I think he might be able to kind of break Hadley down as, you know, this fight really progresses. And traditionally when Charles Johnson is really struggling, it's, you know, guys shooting 10, 15, 20 type of takedowns against him. And Hadley just doesn't really have the like wrestling capabilities to do that. He's got good jiu-jitsu. My concern is that like Johnson gets locked down in a body triangle or something like that. Because Johnson can get controlled from the back more, but I think Hadley's going to struggle to control him from like conventional, you know, wrestling and guard-based positions. So I think Johnson's actually going to be able to scramble if he gets taken down here. And I think he's going to have the better cardio within this matchup. Like you said, hometown boy. If it's a close fight, close decision, crowd's going to be on his side too. So you're getting a little extra narrative that way. So yeah, I'll take that Johnson decision prop plus 215. And just a quick side note too, for the DraftKings Pick 6 new platform that they launched, they have the Johnson over 43.5 significant strikes. I think that's a super low number this week, especially when you look at the over 2.5 lines. Like, I mean, this fight's projected to go over, you know, over 70% of the time. So unless Hadley subs Johnson or backpacks him for the better part of the fight, I don't know how Johnson isn't getting over 43.5 significant strikes. And like, even looking at some of his fights where he's gotten controlled extensively, like Esteban controlled him for 9 minutes and Johnson still landed 70 significant strikes. Durden controlled him for like 10 minutes or something like that, and he landed 53 significant strikes. So it's like, I think that's the best play on the board this week for pick six. If you guys are looking for a leg, I think you're kind of just, fading a finish here. And that's obviously not projected to happen at a super high clip. So just something to be on the lookout for if you guys are in the pick six market for today.
Yeah, that 43.5 is way too low. On Prize Picks, they had Hadley significant strikes at like 49, which I thought was too low as well. I think this fight goes the distance, and I think it's primarily taking place in the feet. So good call there. So yeah, we got Luke on the Charles Johnson by decision plus 215. Guru, what are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, listen, if you're following me over on Twitter, I let go Charles Johnson plus 145 early in the week. So I like Charles Johnson here. Hometown guy. He's going to be much bigger. What exactly is Jake Hadley like really good at? Shout out Timothy Troiano. I mean, it's the Euro trash grappling, right? Of Jake Hadley. Like, I don't necessarily see how he's going to get and hold down Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson has faced, honestly, a fairly elite level of grapplers in the UFC. Estevim, Maxim, who I just think was inexperienced, but I think is really, really good. Cody Durden. Come on. I mean, these guys are really, really good. Jake Hadley, what? He knocked out Malcolm Gordon. So now I think he should come out here and beat Charles Johnson flying across the country, across the world. Like, come on, man. No chance. I don't like it at all. I don't even understand why he's the favorite. Like, I don't get it. And you're seeing the market start to reflect that. So, honestly, no disrespect to 138, but the guy I'm worried about most on this entire show, sitting right below me right here. I mean, Luke is sharp. So I'm going CJ round 3 decision plus 160.
Johnson round 3 decision plus 160.
Yes, sir.
I like it. All right, so yeah, guys, both kind of on the same page there. Gru taking that round 3 just in case Hadley gasses out. The DK experiencing, I got Johnson by decision. I think he gets it done on the feet. Hadley is getting the Johnson tonight. Wow, we got a Mushroom in the building. What is up? CJ had the Bobby Green facial hair. It's a wrap. Could be. Marvin saying this is a coin toss. Jake Hadley, 2 wins, 2 losses by decision. Johnson, 5 wins and 6 losses by decision. Yeah, and I think the line is reflecting it's a coin toss. I think it's heading that direction. Johnson's got this in his hometown. I think that's definitely an advantage there. Sneak watching at work. There you go. Charles got that patch for the back of his head. 4D chest. Oh, Charles got the hair patch for the back of the head shots. 4D chest. Yes. It definitely protects the back of his head. Johnson round 3 plus 2,200 worth a pocket change bet. It's a big number. But we'll keep moving on to the next fight. Really looking forward to this one. We have Trey Waters going against Billy Goff. We have Trey Waters minus 150, Billy Goff plus 130. Guru, we'll start with you. What are you liking for this fight here?
Hey, listen, we're going to put some respect on his name. He's going by Billy Ray Goff, which I love. I find that very spicy. I like that a lot. Listen, when you watch Trey Waters fight, I mean, he's pulled a bunch of fights out of the fire, right? Snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, right? On his way to losing, and has come over in those regional fights and just won randomly. And then you watch his last fight versus Quinlan. What was the dude's game plan? Stand on the outside of the guy that is built like a tree? Like, what are we doing? So Billy Ray Goff is the exact opposite of somebody like that. He's going to crash forward. He's not going to respect Trey Waters' size. He's going to have to earn it. And okay, Billy Goff gets rocked every fight. What does he do though? He continues to pull through. So I don't necessarily see somebody like Trey Waters dissuading him. I honestly think he's going to get hurt to the body, and it's very possible that he does. I think he's going to get hurt, and then possibly, listen to this, right? Now I'm going really crazy here.
Okay.
Billy Goff by submission plus 1,700. Yes, he's never gotten a career sub before, but this is somebody that actively looks to grapple. And yeah, he could go for the ground and pound in that position, but he could also go get the club and sub. And I think at that line on this show, got to take it.
Geez, 17-1, eh?
Yes, sir.
There you go. All right. Billy Goff by sub 17-1 for Guru, shooting for the moon there, looking to take first and more. We have Luke. What do you like for this fight?
Yeah, this is one of the trickier fights on the board to call for me. I think I did end up ultimately on the Goff side of it, but I don't know. There's just some benchmarking things with both guys that I just find it a little bit tough here. So I think I'm probably going to take my second pass on this one. If I had to give anything out, I would maybe look to Billy Goff 2-3 props. But I'm probably just going to approach this one from more of like a live betting perspective.
Yeah, there's a couple fights on this card where I think they're good live bet opportunities, and this is certainly one that I have my eye on. Is there a good place to see who's judging which fights? Sometimes they do on like the bigger pay-per-views. Do you guys know if they do or not?
No, to your point, I think sometimes on the bigger cards they'll release them on fight day or something, but I don't think there's any like one play. It would be nice if like, on Wednesday they would, put, which 3 blind mice are assigned to each fight, but
they keep that shit hush hush for a reason. They don't want anybody getting in trouble or like people going after them before the fight starts type of shit.
Yeah,
really,
I want to know who's reffing a fight before it starts. Like if it's Keith Peterson, I'm betting the over. If it's Chris Taglioni, I'm betting the under. If it's Gary Copeland, I'm just not even touching the fight. I mean, Gary Copeland gets some help.
It's funny though, bro, because Taglioni used to be like death taxes and Taglioni overs because he would just like let people die, and now it's like shifted to like Taglioni.
Yes,
I know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Goff KO. Yeah, the dude has some power, but Guru's taking that 17-1 sub, maybe a club and sub.
Listen, let's be real, right? If you're following me on Twitter, I released Billy Goff plus 146. Like I'm on Billy Goff money line, like. But for this show, I'm not going to give out a plus 120 now. I got to go big. I got to take down the competition here. I'm playing against some sharps. So
Goff round 1 knockout. Goff is really good, really active. Waters will be finished early. Andrew thinking Waters murks him easily. I think he like maybe hurt Goff or knock him down. Goff gets hurt a lot. It's just his recoverability is pretty solid. Under 2.5, I don't mind it. TB scouting saying here for the Guru to hit another wild best bet. Yeah, he has a couple of them, man. And then TB will be on next week, so looking forward to that show as well. Derrick clearly get some help. Yeah, get some help, Derrick. Clearly, get some help. Scouting. Everybody get some help. Just get some help. All right, we'll move on to the next fight. We have Tabitha Ricci going against Tecia Torres. We'll start with you, Luke. I believe you're a big Baby Shark fan, right?
Yes, I am. But I am on the other side of my girl this week, which is I've actually done really, really well with betting Tabitha Ricci over the years. Homegirl's made me a decent chunk of change, but I'm on the other side. Obviously, we got the whole layoff in baby gimmick, which is definitely a concern, but homegirl's been back in the gym for 9 months. If you look at her IG, she's repping, an 8-pack. She's got the Terry Crews Old Spice shoulders back. She's back on the good stuff. I think she's going to be in good shape. And Ticia's always been a gamer. She's always been an elite athlete. So if there's anybody that can come back and perform well, I think it's her, especially that she's only 34 and not like 44. So she's still got some time, but yeah, I think X's and O's wise, I think this is actually a really tough matchup for Tabitha Ricci. I think Torres is pretty evidently the better striker. She hits a lot harder. So like, even if strikes are competitive, I think Ticia's going to be landing the bigger strikes of the two. Obviously Ricci has pretty much all of the grappling upside. And I do think she's going to get Torres down in this fight, but Ticia's scrambling ability is pretty freaking high level. Like if you look at the girls that Ricci's controlling, they either have like horrible takedown defense, no scrambling ability, or bad grapplers, like none of which is associated with Tecia. So I think Tabitha's going to land some takedowns here, but I think Ticia's going to get up, and I think she's just going to do more on the feet. So, and like I said, unless she shows up, just not 100% and, looks like a shell, I think she should win this fight more often than not. So But it is another one of these fights, so I don't really see a finish happening at much of a rate. So kind of a cop out. I'll just take Tisha by points at plus 160.
All right, Torres by points plus 160. Guru, what do you like for this fight?
Again, Luke, super sharp. I feel the exact same way. When you look at the stats, Tisha Torres is the much more efficient striker. Honestly, you could look at the tape and see that too. She's much better at striking. And you also look at the stats and you see that Tabitha Arichi, who does she actually control for a significant amount of time? She kind of just goes for them in volume and everybody gets back up. Tisha Torres is somebody who's notoriously difficult to take down, hold down, that type of thing. Superior, they're both obviously fantastic athletes. I just don't necessarily, I'm not super concerned about the baby thing, especially at dog money. So I believe both of us should get the better price here. I got Miss Tisha Torres Pennington at by decision at plus 190. So
okay, so I'll give you both plus 190 then. There you go.
Yeah. Look, see, man, I'm fighting for both of us to get some units here. Let's get it.
It's a class act. It's the class act right there. All right, so both guys on the Torres decision, and yeah, I don't mind that. Torres by sub. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't think so, man. That'd be crazy. Can you guys see a Torres sub? Maybe a twister.
It would be that would be nutty. Honestly,
get it?
I saw what you did there, Brady.
Get it? She's the tiny tornado twister.
I like it.
Because at least somebody got it.
Maybe they got that prop on BetMGM for the culture. Maybe it's worth a sprinkle.
Yeah, maybe. Sal D'Amato always has the correct. What I will say, Sal, is you have been doing a lot better. It seems like you guys take turns just being corrupt. So I guess, Sal, you've been doing a little bit decent as of late. I smell a split. Yeah, potentially this fight's going the distance. We have guys like Sal D'Amato judging the fight. So yeah, I could see it. Paulo Costa is not even fighting tonight. So I don't know. I pick Arichi. Can't trust Tisha after all this time off, and Arichi is better on the ground. Yep, she is better on the ground. We'll see if she can get it there. All right, let's move on to Sherdog lists the refs on day of the fight under the header play-by-play results and round scoring example. First fight judges tonight are Petrie, Critchfield, and Treese. Are those judges?
You know what? It's going to be a different commission because they're in St. Louis. So yeah, probably.
I'm looking at it now, and all. No, I think those are Sherdog people because every single one has Petrie, Critchfield, and Treese over those guys.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought though.
But that'd be sweet. Why do you hate Chase Hooper, Mark? What's up, Adam? All right, let's move on to the next fight. Let's get to the good stuff. We have Esteban Rivix going against Terrence McKenna. We have Rivix minus 160, Terrence McKenna plus 140. I cannot wait for this fight. It is the Terrence McKenna fight, which is always going to bring violence. We'll start with you, Luke. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, dude, I'm super looking forward to this. A lot of volatility here. Been a tad conservative on the show so far, but I'm going to go with Rivix round 2 plus 500. The price has gotten hit a little bit, which kind of is unfortunate. I think it was like $650 a day or two ago, but I think plus 500 might be the best you can get right now, potentially. It's just, kind of the typical donation you probably have to make on a Terrence McKenna fight. The guy's got 5 rounds of cardio. Ribovix obviously has 15 minutes of cardio. If McKenna doesn't get him out early, he projects to gas in all likelihood. So I don't think there's too many in-depth thoughts or this being particularly sneaky, but I think you pretty much almost have to always have a round 2 sprinkle on Terrence McKenna's opponents just because it's going to be a long-term plus EV play in a vacuum in all likelihood. Although I think Ribovitz could finish him in the first round here too. So I'm not saying this is some lock in. I wouldn't be shocked if McKenna does McKenna things and gets him out in the first round, but at a pretty juicy plus 500. Yeah, that's what I'll go with. Yeah, I think that was on BetMGM.
Yeah, this fight could very well end in the first 5 minutes, but if Ribovix can get to that second round, he's winning the fight. I don't see a world where McKenna wins a fight after 5 minutes. So yeah, I think that's very, very much in play. Guru, what do you like for this fight here?
Listen, full disclosure, I have 2 props written down, and I was, going to pick between them. I have Rivix round 2 at plus 500, and I have McKinney at round 1 plus 280. Out of pure respect and competition, I'm just going to go McKinney round 1. But you guys already said it. It's a very, McKinney needs to get it done early if he's going to do it. I think he gets it done by sub if he does it. You saw Rivix give up that position early round 1 to Kamela Kirk. And I think somebody like McKinney, just if he gets that same position, he's just going to go apeshit there. So I'm going to take the shot, but I absolutely could see Rivix round 1. I could see him doing it round 2, like you said. I see some people taking the shot on round 3. I think that's nutty, but sometimes the money gets us excited.
Yeah, if he gets to round 3, that round 3 prop is probably hitting, but it's hard to see a McKinney fight getting to round 3.
Exactly.
Yeah, so McKinney round 1 plus 280 for Guru, and then Luke taking the round 2 for Rivix at plus 500. I think there's a good chance one of those hit, unless Rivix finishes him late round 1, which would be super annoying, but that's certainly in play as well. Jason on the McKinney first round sub. Eric also on the McKinney first round sub. Nate saying the under 1.5 rounds never can go wrong in a McKinney fight. McKinney round 1 KO. There's going to be a lot of short fights tonight. Yeah, I think there could be a couple. We have I Sit to P with a $2 donation saying lock of the card. I'd say the McKinney fight won't start round 3. I'm pretty confident.
Despain.
Guru liking Despain. Luke, do you have a lock for the card?
I would say the Hooper Borchev under 2.5.
Yeah, I like all 3 of those. We got Monk in the building. Monk say, "What's up, boys? Let's get paid. Let's do it, Monk. Let's do it." McKinney round 1 plus Hardy sub plus 3,200. Big odds there. Elder saying, "I got Rivix. He's tough, and T-Rex won't finish him early. So Rivix by TKO." Yeah, that's the thing. Rivix is super super tough. Good cardio, good heart. All things that McKinney doesn't really have. McChinney is. That's the first time I've heard that. McChinney is screwed here. He gasses in 3 minutes. Esteban has a chin. So please explain how McChinney has a chance. Esteban 2-3. Double down on the McChinney. I liked it. McKinney sub or KO. Don't have any round props. I don't know. If he's winning, I think it could be he has a ton of power. I don't know. I think it could be either personally, but I'm picking Rivix. Let's see here. Rivix has those crazy eyes. McKinney will have to yeah, the dude does seem like he's a little bit crazy. Appreciate you, Anthony. Thanks for stopping by. All right. I say we move on to the next fight. And yes, I cannot wait for this fight as well. We got Slava Borchev going against Chase Hooper. We have Slava sitting as a minus 133 favorite. Chase Hooper at plus 113. This lines came down a little bit throughout the week, it looks like. So yeah, we'll kick to you first, Guru. What are you liking for this fight here?
I'm liking Chase Hooper. If you're following me, I released Chase Hooper as a dog early in the week. Well, I think honestly the line has kind of stayed whatever, plus 125. I played him at money line. I do think he gets it done. I feel like Slava has shown way too many problems. I know that he gets back up often from the takedowns, but when he's on the ground, he doesn't really know exactly what to do. And I feel like somebody like Hooper, while he's not maybe the best wrestler that Slava's faced, right, Mike Davis, but he's definitely much trickier and better at jiu-jitsu, right? So I think that's a problem. But here's my crazy play for this card. You ready? You've already seen Chase Hooper have 2 KOs in the UFC via ground and pound. I really think that it's a good possibility that Chase Hooper can get that. So I'm taking Chase Hooper by knockout in round 2 or 3 at plus 2,100 because I think it's going to take some time. And I eventually think that Slava is going to get tired. He's going to be relentless to get it there. He knows that he's going to have a problem on the feet. So I think eventually he gets it done, and I'm trying to go big.
Yeah, 22-1, and yeah, I think that could certainly be in play. His ground and pound's really good. I've been saying it all week. Luke, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, this is the civil war of the week. I am definitely someone who's actually more on the Borchev side of the equation here. But it's one of those fights I think you can make really substantive arguments both ways. So, it is what it is. Just kind of depends on your perception about a few different aspects of the fight. For the sake of the show, I think I'm just going to go with the under 1.5. I'm seeing a plus 110. right there. I just think, once again, it's on the feet. Borchev's going to mess him up if the fight's on the ground. Hooper's obviously live sub. To Guru's point, I think he has sneaky KO or ground and pound KO potential as well. The slight thing I do disagree with, though, is I do think Hooper's actually more front loaded in this matchup, because I feel like if he doesn't get, in those positions on Borchev early and does his thing and get him out of there, that either means one of two things, like Slava's surviving and or getting up to where Hooper's getting absolutely bombed on. So if he's taking that kind of damage, I just don't think his cardio is going to, or really hardware is going to hold up in this fight like it maybe has in other fights. So that's my only slight disagreement. And makes actually sense. One of the main things what kind of pushes me more to the Borchev side, but I'll go with the under 1.5 at +110.
All right. Luke taking the under 1.5. Yeah, I think there's a good chance we get some violence in this one. Calling Chase Hooper is trash is an insult to my garbage can, says Mark. This guy's working for the bookies at this point. Chase Hooper by KO against Slava. I mean, it'd be a TKO, not a standing KO. It's certainly in play, especially at +2200. I don't think it's a terrible play at all. Hooper gets hit too much and doesn't shoot enough takedowns. Slava KO1. Yeah, that's my prediction is Slava KO1. But I think this fight can go either way. Mr. Bubble saying under 2.5. I like it. It's chalky, but I think it could be like maybe a parlay piece. Slava via TKO, and he hits him with the Russian. That dance he does.
Yeah,
I think that's a big reason I'm picking him as for that dance. Trey Waters decision only is -110. If that fight goes to decision, I think it could be close. Slava KO, first and second. We got Adrian with the $10 donut. Appreciate you, Adrian. It's been a while since I've seen you in here. Lots of these dogs have a path. Keep up the great work, fellas. Yeah, I think there's a lot of live dogs, a lot of line movement as well. A lot of money coming in on these dogs throughout the week. All right. Let's see. Hooper KO is nuts. Yeah, think it could be live. Rivix round 2 KO at +800 on MGM. I think it would just go for the round 2 in general, just in case he does sub McKenna. I think Rivix does have 4 or 5 subs, even a couple Kimuras in there, but Slava to go the distance. I hope not. Slava KO. Bald with a red beard is the ultimate MMA pace, says Monk. I like it. All right, let's move on to the next fight we have. First, we're going to, this is the start of the main card, the Despain fight. We're going to do a quick recap of the bets so far. Make sure we got everything correct. So we got Guru. You're starting off the night with Hardy sub +750. Johnson round 3 decision +160. Goff sub +1700. Torres decision +190. McKenna round 1 +280. And then Hooper KO 2-3 combination +2200. Does all that look correct, Guru?
I have to be honest. I believe Hooper KO is 2100.
Okay.
I wouldn't. Once I hit that, I don't want to steal you for.
We like an honest guy on the show, so appreciate that. Appreciate it. Luke, you are passing on the Hardy fight. You're taking Johnson decision +215, passing on the Goff fight. Torres decision +190. Rivix round 2 +500. Hooper under 1.5 rounds +110. Does that look good?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then Luke has used up both of his passes, and Guru, no passes yet.
No, sir.
Not yet. Okay, so you'll be passing on a couple of these main card fights. All right. Did you guys see the video of Hardy deadlifting? I did not. Maybe I'll have to go check it out after this. Sleepy saying literally none of these bets are going to hit. Sleepy, drop your bets in the comments. I'll pull them up and we'll see if your bets hit today. All right, let's move on to the main card opener. Very fun fight here. Rebellis Despain going against Waldo Cortez-Acosta. We have a lot of money pouring in on Despain throughout the week. He was sitting around, -155 earlier in the week. He's now -240. Waldo Cortez-Acosta sitting at +205. We'll start with you, Luke. What are you liking for the main card opener?
Yeah, I guess I'll shit in the apple pie a little bit of this one, and I'll go the other way. I'm going to go Acosta 2-3, aggregated at +440. Listen, I mean, Despain still has not been out of the first round. He hasn't fought anybody. If he doesn't kill him, there's theoretical merit to Acosta late. I mean, he's a guy that's shown he's actually I think, won 9 of his 11 fights past the first round. So he's a heavyweight that can fight for 15 minutes. He's a heavyweight that can fight late. He's a heavyweight that has been durable so far, at least in his pro MMA career. He got, bonked a couple times in boxing, I think. But I feel like if, he can hold up through an early surge here from Despain. Despain just may have absolutely no cardio. The guy's 6'7" with an 87-inch reach. Like, projecting this guy to, have elite cardio, I think is probably pretty far-fetched, especially with how hard he throws. So, if Acosta can take his shots, maybe do some cage push, wear the guy down, get it into 2-3. Maybe Despain just has absolutely nothing left, and, Acosta just starts boxing him up and takes him out. So that's what I'll go with.
You said like plus 440?
Yep.
All right. So Luke taking the 2-3, looking for Waldo to survive that early storm. Guru, I have a feeling I know who you're on in this fight. What do you got?
Yeah, listen, Luke, of course, makes a ton of sense. I do have in my notes for my dart throws that you have to play Acosta, late, because that seems to be how his path would be. You're certainly not. You got to ask him to weather the storm. I'm just not convinced that he does. He doesn't really have great striking defense. I'm not exactly convinced with his fight IQ. I feel like it's a good matchup to the points that you're kind of making, especially if he can push him a little bit. But you got to go back to the well. Found this over on FanDuel. You've got Despain KO in 30 seconds at plus 1,200. You have to. Are you kidding me? He's already done it. He's done it. 5 round 1 finishes. He's got 5 in under a minute, 3 in under 18 seconds. Are you kidding? I gotta go for it. Why not?
Plus 1,200. Jeez.
Yes, sir.
All right. So Despain to get a KO in the first 30 seconds. And like you said, he has a lot of them. I think he has only 5 fights, and I think 3 come under 30 seconds, something like that. So, I mean, it's certainly in play there. We got dancing.
Otherwise it was just round 1 KO at like plus 100 or something, and that's trash.
Well, I wonder what the 60 seconds is. I think 60 seconds could be in play. Even if he survives the early storm, he's going to outbox someone that much of a reach advantage. I don't see it. I think it had to be like Despain, like slowing down massively. But yeah, we don't know. Probably the last free Despain KO. It could look free. We'll see. Love that FanDuel prop. That's insane. 60 seconds is plus 400 on DK. But Guru wants 30 seconds. 30 seconds at plus 12.
Gotta go the full value. But if I'm taking it, why not? You take a little bit of grandma's couch, right? You dig into grandma's couch cushion. You find the change under the couch that nobody's even looking for, and you place it on 30 seconds. You place it on 60 seconds, and you just have a really good time.
How long did it take him to finish per? It was around 30 seconds. Was it under or?
I think it was like his thing was like 18 seconds.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. It was under 30 seconds. So it's like he's already done it. Why not? Hey, you still got 12 seconds to spare. Line them up again.
I know. So we'll see. Despain by Shadow Realm. Sportsbet in Australia has plus 600 for a finish in the first 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I would be betting that. That's for sure. All right, we'll move on to the next fight. We have Sean Woodson going against Alex Caceres. We have Alex Caceres, a plus 188 underdog. Sean Woodson is minus 223. We'll start with you, Luke. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I think Caceres can compete to a degree here, but I think Woodson's just going to kind of be one step in front of him the entire fight. He's longer, he's faster, he's quicker. Caceres tends to not necessarily do well with pressure. He's not particularly dangerous outside of head kicks or potentially taking like the back transitionally, but he's not a very good offensive wrestler. So assuming Sean Woodson doesn't, take a complete shit here, I think he, in all likelihood, probably just outboxes Caceres to a 15-minute semi-competitive decision. The fight's projected to go, over, looking at about 75% of the time. I don't see a lot of finish equity in the fight. So yeah, Woodson via decision will be my play.
All right. Woodson decision. What was the line on that?
Minus 105, I think.
All right. Woodson decision minus 105 for Luke. Guru, what are you liking for this fight here?
Honestly, Luke with another fantastic breakdown. It's exactly how I feel. super sharp. Woodson's just going to be the faster, more active striker. Caceres just kind of plays with his food a little bit. He's always smiling. He's low volume. He's low efficiency. Yeah, just not somebody who I'm taking. I'm definitely not going to pick against the guy with the giant fucking arch on his chest in his hometown. So he's going to win. He might even pull a finish out of his ass somehow just because he's at home, but I really don't think so. But the only prop to play is what Luke played. And you heard that number. That's why I'm passing.
All right. Guru is using up his first pass, and he has one left there. All right, let's see what we got in the chat. Sean Woodson by decision. Yeah, I think that's the most likely scenario in this one. This is the hardest fight to pick of the night, if you ask me. My heart says Bruce Leroy, but got a bad feeling Woodson is going to snipe him. I'm kind of feeling the same way. I think this fight goes the distance, and I think it probably goes to the hometown guy. Elder agreeing Woodson by decision in his hometown. Woodson by split could be interesting. But yeah, we'll move on to the next fight. We have the biggest favorite on the card here in Mateus Rivix going against Carlos Diego Ferreira. We got Rivix is now minus 370. Ferreira is plus 295. So some late money has came in on Carlos Diego Ferreira. He was as high as plus 385, and it looks like Rivix was as high as like minus 500 something at one point. So late money coming in on Ferreira on fight day. We'll start with you, Guru. What are you liking for this fight here?
I really like Mateusz Rebecki here. If you look throughout Diego Ferreira's career, right, when he's lost, other than the round one knockout to Dustin Poirier, right, you lose to Gregor Gillespie, Mateusz Gamrot, and Dariush twice. I mean, these are guys that are out grappling him, right, and basically his best department. And, you know, when I watch the tape and I watch Diego Ferreira fight Anthony Pettis, I mean, that guy just doesn't exist anymore. Like, he just doesn't fight like that. He doesn't look like that. You watch the Michael Johnson fight, and I picked him versus Michael Johnson. Like, he did not look good versus Michael Johnson. He's losing. He can't get the takedowns on an open mat. Like, it's just not. It wasn't good. I don't know what his game plan was. It was crazy, and he just nuked him because Michael Johnson loves to choke. He loves to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. So I'm going with Mateusz Rebecki here, but I'm going round 2, round 3 KO at plus 340. I really, really like this prop. I think it takes a little while for Mateusz to get it done, but his leg kicks are devastating. Sure, his striking isn't exactly very nuanced, but he throws them hard and hits hard, and it's all to get takedowns, which I do think will come versus CDF. So I think CDF wears down, and I think he gets that finish. I don't think he's going to submit him. I think he KOs him.
Yep, I like it. I was looking at that same exact play. I think it was earlier in the week. It was like plus 400, so it has moved a little bit, but I think rightfully so. I think that 2-3 is super live as well. Luke, what are you liking in this fight here?
Yeah, I think Guru gave a pretty good breakdown. I'm going to go with the Ribecki 2-3 props. I guess I'm not necessarily going with the KO. I'm not sure what that exactly pays. I think the general 2-3 is just plus 232 aggregated, but I don't know if somebody has those 2-3 KO numbers. I'd be fine to take that. I just didn't calculate that up, but I think it's just not really a great matchup for CDF. I think CDF's, he's been a pretty solid guy over his career, but 39 years old, another layoff, hasn't been particularly active, a lot of injuries. Ribecki's style on paper should give CDF, a pretty healthy amount of issues. To Guru's point, I don't think he looked very good against Johnson last time out, despite, viciously KOing him in the second, but minute to minute, he didn't look great. So, yeah, I mean, if this fight was like 3 or 4 years ago, this betting line's pretty crazy, honestly, but he's 39 years old now. So I think Ribecki probably cooks him late. He's got the better cardio, in my opinion, and finishes in the latter rounds.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, if this was the Diego Ferreira that fought even like Dariush back in 2021, I think he could be live at this number, but he's 39 years old at this point. I don't like it. So I agree with you guys. Luke, do you want to take the KO 2-3 at plus 380, or do you want to cover the sub as well?
You said it's 380?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay.
I have access to maybe 8 books I do not have a single book that offers me a 2-3 aggregate.
No, he's just doing the math.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. How would we bet it though? Because I don't know. I don't have a.
You add the 2 up and then divide them by 2.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I guess you have to bet the rounds individually, which is generally what I do.
Yeah, I know. What book does it? I know. I think it's a book in Australia that does it. Maybe I forget what it's called, but I know I've seen some. Yeah, because those would be nice. Those would be very nice to have. I know FanDuel has the KO 2-3 and the sub 2-3, but wish they just had that. Yeah, I'm with you there. So maybe the books can get that out eventually. Now they're getting out like significant strike props, so they could get that out as well. TBSA, nice read. Rivix under 2.5 rounds. Yeah, I dig the under. It's -205. Rivix KO, I agree. Ferreira is not going to go the distance. He did not look great on the scale. He's getting up there, man. He's 39 years old. Ladbrokes has got it. That wasn't the book I was thinking about, but yeah. So Ladbrokes has it in Australia, and I think another book, I forget the name of it, has it as well. So does Ned. So maybe we should all move to Australia and get those props. All right. Moving on to the next fight, we have Carlos Ulberg going against Alonzo Menifield. It looks like Ulberg is now -264. Alonzo Menifield is a +224 underdog. We'll start with you, Luke. What are you liking for this fight here?
It's kind of a weird fight because I think like both guys, originally I was like thinking, under 1.5, both of these guys have a ridiculous amount of firepower, which in theory could, just nuke each other early. But I kind of changed my opinion a little bit. And I kind of think like Ulberg's just going to pick at him for 15 minutes. I think he's the more technical kickboxer. I think he's got better footwork. He's faster. Menifield can be a bit plodding. And realistically, if Menifield doesn't knock Jacoby down in the 3rd round of the last fight, he actually loses a decision there. There's not really any controversy about that. So I think if Ulberg can remain safe, avoid the bomb, or avoid real big moments in both rounds, Menifield has shown good hardware generally. The OSP fight, obviously a little bit concerning, but yeah, I'm actually going to give Ulberg by decision at +300.
Yeah, I think that's I'm kind of seeing the fight the same exact way. +300 for that decision?
Yep.
All right, Ulberg decision, +300 for Luke. Guru, what do you like over this fight here?
Shockingly, I feel the exact same way. I felt like Menifield needs to land a bomb, and somebody like Ulberg, like he's a model, right? He doesn't exactly want to be hit, so he's going to do everything he can not to. I think what the terminology Luke said would pick at him. I think that's great. I just think he's going to jab at him and move, stick and move, bother him. Yeah, I love the Ulberg decision. I love Ulberg round 3 decision, but I actually ended up passing this fight. I just felt like it was. I just don't know that I can trust Ulberg at this number, just because I don't know. I'm just not sure he's like a super, super high level fighter.
Is it that Kennedy fight in the back of your head?
Yeah, basically. But I mean, he just got tired there, and inexperienced. He's much more experienced now, so I do expect him to win.
Yeah, he's fighting a lot smarter nowadays. So, all right. So, Guru, you used up your second and final pass, so no more passing for these next 2 fights. Ulberg is just a younger, better Menifield, or Ulberg 2nd round KO. Yeah, but Menifield does have some paths, but I agree. I think it should be Ulberg just being the clear minute winner here. Nate saying Carlos by decision. I like it. All right. Co-main event, a very interesting one here. We have Joaquin Buckley going against Nursultan Ruziboev, a line that has came down a lot throughout the week. So Ruziboev was sitting around +140, +130. He's now +110. Buckley is sitting as a -130 favorite. So this is looking to be like one of the closer fights on the card, according to the odds. I think the second closest fight. So Luke, what are you liking for this co-main event here?
Yeah, this is another tricky one and another bit of a civil war matchup. It seems like. I'm actually going to go with the over 1.5 rounds here at -135, I think, which is definitely going to be a blood pressure medication over. But I've actually kind of done well sneakily with Buckley over 1.5, because actually I think it's like 75% of his wins have actually gone over, or maybe it's just wins or combined losses, but the majority of Buckley fights actually have gone over, believe it or not. And with the style dynamic here, with the massive reach and length advantage that Ruzabov's going to have, we're also in the big cage here in St. Louis. I think we actually might get a pretty slow start here, which is kind of maybe contradictory with Ruzabov going out there and just killing everybody early in the last 2 fights. But I went back and I watched a fight that I think has some parallels, and that was Buckley versus Antonio Arroyo. It's a fight it happened a while ago, but another like long, rangy karate guy that just like really not a ton happened. Buckley ended up killing him, I think, in the 3rd round or something like that. But it was just a super slow pace, like tactical fight. I think Buckley's got to be concerned to the right hand. Ruzabov's not going to throw a ton, so Buckley's going to try to find his reads to, get inside and whatnot. So I kind of think it's just going to be a slow-paced first round here. Obviously, Ruzabov has the ability to snipe him, and I think Buckley could put him out late. But yeah, I'm going to go with the over 1.5 here to sneak over that 7.5 minute mark.
Yeah, I actually don't mind. Like this over could be either the sweatiest over ever, or it could be like sweat free, low volume. Like Nursultan's low volume. He hits like a truck, but he's low volume. So I could see it sneaking over. Guru, what do you like for this coming event?
Call me crazy, but
Okay.
I feel very confident in Joaquin Buckley this week. Like, I understand that Nursultan, again, has that round 1 KO. He's got that Kimura that he gets. But honestly, all 8 of his losses have come at welterweight. This is him here at welterweight. I just don't think that he lasts as long as he should. And I honestly feel exactly what Luke was saying. I think that it's a slow happening fight. What about the Dumas fight makes you think that Nursultan's going to come out here and just kill Joaquin Buckley? Like, I don't understand it. Why? Because he got knocked out by Alesko de Chirico. That kick knocks out anybody where it hit him. He's lunging mid punch and it hits him in the side of the temple. I mean, it was perfect. So I just don't see it here from Ruzi. You watch him fight Cedric Dumas, a dude with very little process, no footwork, stands straight up. Like, what about this reminds you of Joaquin Buckley, who's going to keep moving, is way more athletic, who's going to be willing to, if he wrestles at all, which if he's got any brain, he will do. The takedowns can come at will, in my opinion. Like, Ruzi has no takedown defense at all. So with a little bit of grappling involved, you're going to cruise over 1.5. So I like Joaquin Buckley round 3 decision at plus 240. Realistically, I do just think it goes the distance, but yeah, I think Buckley gets it done. And I picked Buckley up on the money line today at minus 118.
Oh,
like,
wow.
are you kidding me? So shout out Fight Numbers. I was able to look through their database there and find the best line. And yeah, sweet.
There you go. Yeah, minus 118. You did get the best line there. And then Gamblestein kind of with you guys. My crazy bet is Buckley by decision at plus 550. Not that crazy. Several people are on it, and yeah, rightfully, it's like when Nursultan is losing it, more often than not, it's by decision. I think it's like 8 decision losses, something like that. Only like 2 finish losses. Ruzabov KO1 takedown spam until he gets it done. Yeah, I think if Ruzabov's winning, it probably is in round 1. He has like 27 first round wins. Buckley ain't losing at home, but he could. We shall see. We shall see. Buckley might get slept. Smash the like button. Thoughts on Despain, Rebexy, Lewis, Parley at plus 188. I think it hits, but not something I'd do personally. But I think all 3 of those do win. Let's see here. Buckley has looked good as of late. Yeah, he's looked really good. I'm definitely concerned about this fight. Yeah, this is a fight I'm not touching personally, but I'm really looking forward to watching it. That's for sure. All right, last fight on the card, we have the main event, Derrick Lewis going against Rodrigo Nascimento. We have Derrick Lewis minus 160, Nascimento plus 140. We'll start with you, Guru. What are you liking for the main event?
Derrick the Black Beast Lewis is going to be dragging his nuts all over the cage after a fucking knockout win tonight. So Derrick, like, Rodrigo Nascimento honestly looks terrified of him. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else felt that way. I try not to look into that too much, but he looked terrified to me, and he should be. I have no idea who he's faced that's going to let us feel like he's actually going to be able to survive Derrick Lewis. Yeah, he's got one knockout loss, only one. Yeah, but it's to Chris Dawkins, who's no longer in the promotion, no longer in that division. Like, what are we talking about? Like, that's not good. So I'm taking a really crazy shot here for value. And I'll tell you why. Because, like, you can play the round 1, 2, 3 Derrick Lewis knockout, but I think it's like even money. So I'm going Derrick Lewis knockout round 2, 3 at plus 360. I think it's very possible they're patient. And if Nascimento does nothing, Derrick Lewis will also stand there and stare at you and do nothing. So I'm going to be clenching my butt for about 5 minutes there. But I'm going to take the shot at plus 360 because I can also take a little sprinkle on just round 1 knockout itself at plus 220 separately. So I'm going to play it that way because I do feel very confident Derrick Lewis gets it done. So round 2, 3 KO plus 360.
Plus 360. All right. Yeah, I like it. I like that call. Could happen in round 1, but yeah, these guys could also do a lot of nothing in round 1. Don't mind it. Luke, what are you liking for the main event? I think you're muted or
he's
frozen.
dramatic. It's dramatic effect, I think.
Oh, he's frozen. Oh no. Let's see if we can.
How do you guys got me?
Yep, you're back.
Oh, my internet just cut out real quick.
Oh, good.
Yeah, me and Guru align on quite a few things on this card. Actually, I had the Lewis KO 2-3 as well. I was seeing like plus 400, I think, on one of the books aggregated. So I don't know if you want to give both of us that since Guru helped me out with one of the other ones before. But yeah, I do think there could be a bit of a feeling out process early. Once again, we're in a big cage. Nascimento is going to have to close distance eventually. It's obviously, we're doing a little bit of guesswork here. It's kind of a little difficult to project when Lewis lands the bomb or when he decides to let it go. But at the price, I do think 2-3 is probably the most likely here. So at a number like plus 400, I think it's decent.
Yep, makes sense to me. I think it all comes down to when does Derrick Lewis want to knock him out? When does he want to knock him out? Round 1, 2, 3. I think it's up to him.
To quote your boy Lou Betcha too, Brady, why do you play round 2 or round 3? Exactly. Because it pays better.
Exactly. That's why I like Rivix round 2 rather than round 1 at plus 190. Just it pays more. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right. So these are the bets. We're going to go through, make sure everything's good here, and then these guys are going to give their best bet of the card. If you hit this best bet, your profit's going to double. So, for example, say Guru's best bet is Hooper KO in the 2nd or 3rd round. Instead of getting 21 units, he'll get 42 units, and he'll, beat everybody handedly. So, yeah, we got Guru. You're taking Hardy sub, plus 750 to kick off the card. You're taking Johnson, round 3 decision, plus 160. Goff, submission, 1,700. Torres decision plus 190, McKenna round 1 plus 280, Hooper KO 2-3 2100, Despain KO in 30 seconds plus 1200. Passing on the Woodson fight, you're taking Rivix KO in rounds 2 or 3 plus 380. Passing on the Ulberg fight, Buckley round 3 decision plus 240, and then Lewis KO in round 2 or round 3 plus 400. Does all that look right? And if so, what is your best bet for the entire card?
It looks absolutely bananas, but yes, it's correct. And my best bet is going to be Rabeski KO round 2, 3. I feel pretty good about that one.
Yeah, I like that one. I like it. All right. And then Luke, you're passing on the Hardy fight. You're taking Johnson decision plus 215, passing on the Goff fight, Torres decision plus 190, Rivix round 2 plus 500. You're taking the Hooper, Slava under 1.5 rounds plus 110, Waldo Cortez-Acosta 2-3 plus 440, Woodson decision minus 105, Rebexi KO 2-3 plus 380, Ulberg decision plus 300, Buckley over 1.5 minus 135, and then Lewis KO 2-3 at plus 400. Does all that look right? And if so, what is your best bet for the entire card?
That is correct. And I was going to go with the Rebecca KO 2-3 as well, but for the sake of the show, that's no fun if we have the same exact best bet. So let's mix it up here. I'll go with the Lewis KO 2-3 plus 400. Why not?
All right. To win 8 units. I like it. I like it. All right. There we go. I think it's a good show. Guru taking some shots on some massive props. Guru, you hit one last time. We'll see if you can do it again. And yeah, so we have Guru, you're in second place. Luke, you're in third. We'll see where it goes from there. Before we get out of here, going to kick it to these guys. Guru, let the people know where they can find you.
Listen, Brady, thank you so much for having me on. Luke, also always a pleasure to break down fights with you, man. Super, super sharp stuff. Listen, you can follow me, my podcast, at Chronic Combat Conversations. You can follow me, the Guru Scouting MMA, over on Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, Tapology, Bet MMA, and Picket. All awesome platforms where you can get me and my bets. Thanks so much. We go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Guys, honestly, I need both of you guys. And do guess if you guys have some free Wednesdays. Love to get you on. Had you guys before, so love to have you again soon.
I'm always around, so you just hit me up and I'll be down to come on for sure. And last but not least, we got Luke. Luke, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can check me out on Twitter, SWR_betting. I put all my bets and content up at sparringwithreality.com. I also do some work for Brad Apley over at Establish the Run and their DFS product over there as well, and some of the matchup analysis. So yeah, it's been a pretty fun show. I love chopping it up with you guys. I have to say though, it's kind of weird. We're getting like buried in the chat this week. It's like, bro, we're like 2-3 right now on the show. Like, why are we getting so much hate from people? I guess I don't really understand what the deal with the people is this week.
I don't know. People just been hating lately. Like, there's a lot of haters out there lately. I've been noticing. So I don't know.
Thanks for having me on, boys. It's always fun.
I love it.
Yeah, you got to embrace it. You can't let it get to you. There'll be haters. You got to just embrace it. So
hey, if you're watching the show, I appreciate you. Just know that.
Yeah, a lot of hate. It is what it is. All right, guys. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out. We do appreciate all of you for stopping by. Thank you, Guru and Luke, for coming on. And yeah, guys, enjoy the card. It should be a fun one. I think we're gonna get some violence, some fun fights, and best of luck for UFC St. Louis. We'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.